Okay, so let's talk about what management actually means, because this whole debate often collapses into one emotional word: killing. Wildlife management is not chaos, it's data, limits, and accountability. And one of the biggest misunderstandings, on purpose sometimes, is the difference between kill and harvest. Hunters love to argue over this and debate over it. That single word changes the entire conversation when we're talking about reaching the non-hunting public and we're talking about definitions, and definitions are very important. So when an agency says management, so state fish and wildlife, fish and game, DNR, they mean a real system with moving parts. First, biology, habitat, reproduction, survival. Second, human reality, conflict, safety, and what communities will tolerate. And third, rules and feedback. That's seasons, quotas, reporting, and adjustments based on results. In other words, management isn't a feeling, it's a measurable decision. Here's the clean distinction: kill is simply an outcome, it just means something dies. That could be legal or illegal, reported, hidden, wasted, or used. Harvest is very different. It's regulated, legal take, counted, reported, limited, and used as data for next year's decisions. So harvest isn't a euphemism. It's a management term that means rules, accountability, and measurement. Harvest also carries something else: purpose. And this is really important to understand. It's a tool inside a population plan, not random killing or violence. And yes, harvest often includes use: food, hides, and important data like aging samples that improve future decisions. And guess what? Bear and mountain lion are absolutely consumed by hunters. Lion and bear meat is prized among those who hunt them. So use matters, but harvest is bigger than only what you eat. It's regulated take with a defined purpose. So this is where fear mongering usually happens. You'll see words like slaughter, blood sport, so on and so forth. And almost always it's a story told without the math. So when you see those, ask some questions. And usually this is what's missing: the population estimate. So if it's wolves, what's the population estimate in the state? What's the cap or the permit limit, the amount of tags that they give out for hunters? What's that limit? Compare that to the population estimate. Over what time window? Is there a season? What's the monitoring and reporting requirements? I can almost guarantee you when you see those words that data, which is science-based wildlife management, that's going to be missing. So let's put some numbers on it. Florida's recent black bear hunt. A lot of controversy on that. Florida has a population estimate over 4,000 bears, a hard cap of 172 permits, and the actual harvest was 52. So when someone screams slaughter, what they're ignoring is this: the outcome was roughly about 1% of an estimated population, and that was under permits and reporting. That's what management looks like: limited, measured, and accountable. Mountain lion harvest is a great example of how structured this is. Objectives are set by area. Some places aim to be stable, some grow, some reduce conflict. Limits are built around total mortality, and female take is monitored closely because it matters more for population trends. And reporting and samples guide next year's decisions. And again, yes, lion is food. For many hunters, it is a prized meat. It's commonly shared. Well, maybe it's not commonly shared because they like it too much. It's hard to get lion meat. It's so good. Wolves are where the rhetoric probably gets the loudest. So let's look at the framework. You'll see quotas, sub-quotas near sensitive areas, and mandatory reporting and check-ins. And in places like Montana, harvest includes verified steps, tagging, and even tooth samples for aging. So whether you personally support wolf harvest or not, this is clearly not an anything goes scenario. It's structured, documented, and measurable. So here's my translation table when you see these words. If you see slaughter, that means I'm refusing to show you the cap. If you see something like wiping them all out, that usually means I'm ignoring population data. If you see blood sport, that means I'm pretending permits and quotas don't exist. If you see just relocate them, well, that usually means someone has never looked at the cost, the limits, and the mortality that comes from relocation. So yeah, words matter because words shape what people believe is happening. So here's the reasonable test. Before you share a post or when you're looking at a post, ask this about what's going on. What's the estimated population? What's the cap? What portion is that? How is it reported and verified? And what's the objective? And you can ask that about bears, lions, and wolves. If someone can't answer those basic questions, they're not educating you. They're recruiting you with emotion. Management is math, limits, and accountability. If the story refuses the math, it's probably selling fear.